Welcome back, everybody, writers and all. This is the Right Away After Party with me, Kath,
Hi, I'm Nick.
and today in this session we are on part three, talking about outlining. Do you
Yes,
outline or do you not outline? We're
yes.
just delving. If you missed part two, Nick was telling us about the first part of her outlining process. Now we're going to talk about the second part, her outlining process. So.
Well, I think the second part is probably the easiest because I always start a project, and this is just my own personal
hmm.
journey, but I always start a project with knowing how it's going to start and how it's going to end. I just always do.
Clever,
And
clever.
that just kind of comes to me like as I'm developing the character, and I just kind of think like this is how I want this book to end. Whether or not it's going to be a series or not, that'll make the determination as I'm writing it sometimes. But with this particular book, I knew it was going to be a series. I knew I wanted the very first book to
Mhm.
end on a cliffhanger. It's pretty bad cliffhanger. I hope the readers don't kill me, but I knew that
No,
where I wanted
no spoiler
it.
alerts, please.
I knew where I wanted that book to end. So writing that last end of the outline was pretty easy. It was just
Hmm.
how I was going to sew the beginning to the end. That's where I kind of needed the outline. So,
I
but
have a curious question, not really
mhm.
about outlining, but when you say you know the beginning and know the end, and you finish writing the book following that outline, does
Yes,
it turn out that your beginning is actually chapter one, or do you then have to create your chapter one depending on how it all went down?
I think chapter one is always a challenge because I always want it to be the most engrossing part. So
Hmm.
I think for me, I started chapter one in a total different way, and then I ended up flipping it on its head and totally changing it. So yeah, I think I feel like for me personally, and maybe other writers feel this way, but when I start a book, I always think of chapter one as kind of a placeholder, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to finesse that once I get to the end. And I always try to get to the end. Like I used to work on chapter one, work on chapter one, work on chapter one, and with my critique group, and then come back, and I would be like,
Hmm.
oh my god, 21 chapter ones later. I'm like, I'm ready for chapter two now.
And then you get to the end and then you realize that chapter one doesn't fit this book, does it?
21 chapter one later, you're like, I still got to make a new chapter one.
Yeah. Yeah, I
No,
feel
that's
you.
not how I write anymore. I mean, I think writing is just about learning how to write, and outlining can be the exact same way. It's so much fun to play with an outline because, in my opinion, that you get to play with the idea of the book without having to really write the book yet, and you get to kind of mold and place and figure out like where all the little seasonings that are going to be in there. And I always leave my space for magic because there's so much magic to happen when you actually get in there. But
Mm.
like for me, like I'll just do I just do chapter headings, and it's just a tiny little blip of what I want to happen in that chapter. And if there's an emotional turn that needs to happen, I always put that in there. Like he has to show his love for his sister in this chapter. Like that has to come out. But I don't ever say like how that's going to happen or when that's going to happen or how he's going to do it. It's just a matter that
Yeah.
needs to happen right there because I just know that that beat needs to happen.
Yes. So let me ask you another question, the
Sure.
million-dollar question.
Yes.
Do you do your outlining using post-it notes?
I have never done that method, but I do love that method. I do what they call a skeleton outline, and I don't even know
Like
if this.
you did in high school.
Yeah, I actually draw like a little skeleton. And I so the things that are cerebral, I put the things that are just thoughts, I put in there, and then I just write in the chapter where I think that's going to come out. So I don't. It's not even like a roadmap. I guess it's more of like just a person. And then I don't. I do things a little differently than most
I
people.
think we all do, and that's the beauty about all the different writers and all the different styles.
Yes. And like I
There's
said,
some for everybody.
yeah. Like I never even used to outline. I just would take a character and just go for a journey with them.
Yeah.
So, and
And
now
that, my darling, is episode three done. It's a wrap, and we will see
that's it.
you next time. Bye.
Bye everyone. Happy outlining.